विष्णुना अमानिना मानधेन कीर्तनीयः सदा हरिः नदनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि अयि नन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थितधूलिं सदृशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदरुद्धया गिरा पुलकैर्निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रावृषायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां नष्टु माम् अदर्शनामर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे Translations?
Saji, we can skip the translation today because Prabhuji is already here. We don't have much time.
Okay, Mataji. So,
Thank
should
you,
we
Mataji.
go welcoming?
Sure, Mataji.
Okay. Okay. Devotees, 10 offenses to the holy name?
Yes, Mataji, you can continue with that.
Yes. Next, I would like to read the 10 offenses of the holy name given by Vyasadeva and Padma Purana. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures and pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. So once again, I thank everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. May I know who all are joining the call today?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Guru Maharaj ki Jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Das Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shama Gauri Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shama Gauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble wishes to you and all the devotees, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Asama devotee, and happy Ekadasi to everyone. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna.
भगवती वसुधा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद कीजिए गुरु महाराज कीजिए प्रीति दासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट हरे कृष्ण एंड हैप्पी एकादशी टू एवरीवन हरे
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
हरे
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Sundarangi Radha Devi Dasi from India. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna. Okay, I welcome all of you once again. Thank you everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are really fortunate to have His Grace Sukumar Gaur Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.17 to 20.
We can skip introduction. Mataji.
Yeah. Okay, Mataji. So we are really fortunate to have Prabhuji. And we are really eager to hear from you, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You
Hare
can please
Krishna.
take the waterfall. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamnita Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Pashnatya Deshatu
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, could you please unmute yourself?
Okay. Now am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. So we welcome all the devotees for our morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. So let's start with today's shloka. Can we see the screen? Yeah. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Canto 9, Chapter 4, and text 17 to 20. Vasudeve Bhagavati Tadbhakteshu cha sadhushu Prapto bhavam param vishvam yenedam lostravat smritam. Translation. Maharaj Ambrish was a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and of the saintly persons who are the Lord's devotees. Because of this devotion, he thought of the entire universe as being as insignificant as a piece of stone. 18 to 20. Savayamana Krishna Padara Vindayo Vacham Sivaikuntaguna Karo Harer Mandirmarjanadishu Shrutim Chakara Chutasat Kathodaye Mukundalinga Layadarsha Drisho Tatprityagatras Parish Anga Sangamam Granam Chatatpad Saroja Saurabhe Shrimat Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite Pado Hare Kshetrapadanusarpane Shiro Rishikeshapada Bhivandane Kamam Chadasye Natu Kama Kamyaya Yato Tamashloka Janashrayarati. Translation. Maharaj Amrish always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna. His words in describing the glories of Lord Krishna, his hands in cleaning the Lord's temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Lord Krishna, Krishna's temple, and Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavan. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of Tulsi offered to the Lord, and he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord Prasad. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and the temple of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaj Ambrish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his senses in devotional service in various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 7.1, the Lord recommends Maya Saktamana Partha Yunjan Yogam Yunjan Vadashrayam. This indicates that one must execute devotional service under the guidance of a devotee or directly under the guidance of Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is not possible, however, to train oneself without guidance from spiritual master. Therefore, according to the instructions of Srila Rupa Goswami, the first business of a devotee is to accept a bona fide spiritual master who can train him to engage his various senses in rendering transcendental service to the Lord. The Lord also says in Bhagavad Gita 7.1, Asamshayam samagram mam yatha jnasasi tachrunu. In other words, if one wants to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead in completeness, one must follow the prescription given by Krishna or following in his footsteps of Amrish Maharaj. It is said, Rishikesh, Rishikena Sevanam Bhakti Chate. Bhakti means to engage the senses in service of the master of the senses, Krishna, who is called Rishikesh or Achyuta. These words are used in these verses. Achyuta Satkathodaye, Rishikesha Padabhivandane. The word Achyut and Rishikesh are also used in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is Krishna Katha spoken directly by Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavatam is also Krishna Katha because everything described in Bhagavatam is in relationship to with Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we welcome all devotees for this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. So grateful to all of you for allowing me to make a presentation here on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9. So we are on chapter 4. So let's have a small recap of what's happening till this point. So this chapter starts with the story of Nabhag, who is the son of Nabhag Maharaj, Nabhag. And from 1 to 12, we see the entire story. And we know the story where Nabhag comes back from his guru's ashram and he asks his brothers about the share in his property. And they say that father is the share. So the father is worried about his sons and he says that's not true. So he shares some mantras with him and tells his son that provide all these mantras. So there's yajna happening here. And once they are happy by the supply of your mantras, they will award you with wealth. So you can use that wealth for your personal use. So he goes, and at the end, Lord Shiva comes there, and Lord Shiva tells, no, this wealth is mine. And then he goes back to his father. He says that there is a person who is saying that this wealth belongs to him. And his father understands this is Lord Shiva. And he says that, yes, this is true. After Daksha Yajna, whatever is left over is given to Lord Shiva. So this is the remnant of the Yajna. So it ultimately belongs to Lord Shiva. That's true. And at the end, in the 8th and the 9th shloka, there's a very beautiful thing. When his father, when Nabhag Maharaj gives his judgment, along with that, he is also begging to Lord Shiva that please show mercy on my child. And in the 11th, 10, 9, 10th and 11th shloka, Lord Shiva shows his mercy in two ways. So Lord Shiva is showing his mercy in two ways. First is by providing him material benefit, and second is by providing him spiritual benefit. So material benefit, we all know that he gets the wealth, that is the remnant of the yajna. And the second point is Lord Shiva also gives him spiritual benefit. What is the spiritual benefit? He explains him the transcendental knowledge by which he can get out of this material world for all time. So yes, in any mercy case, we see mostly two benefits. One is material and other is the spiritual. Both things are important and necessary. But more important is the spiritual benefit because that's what is the most required. Yes, material benefits are also required because we have to survive in this world. We have to take care of the body and the needs of the body. So that's also important. But most important is the spiritual benefit. So two hita means benefit. One is the bahir hit and the other is the antar hit. Both hit are done by the Lord and his devotees. So we have to understand this point. But more interested, if you ask the Lord, what are you more interested in? The Lord will always say that I am more interested in giving you the antarhita, not the bahirhit. The bahirhit means the external benefits which are needed for the body. So this we can see also in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto in Ras Leela, where Lord Krishna initially he starts the Ras Leela, but in between we see that due to some things that happen in the Ras Leela, Krishna leaves the Ras Leela, and then after the Gopikas pray, then Krishna comes back. So at the end, the 33rd chapter, where Krishna will come back in the Rasa Kshetra again, the second shloka of the 33rd chapter is very powerful shloka. There is one word that is used for the Gopikas. Shukdev Goswami is using Anuvratai. Now, what is this Anuvratai? So, at the start, you will see the 29 chapter, sorry, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33, 5 chapters. So, in the 29th chapter, 38th chapter, Krishna will give them all Bahirhita, all external benefits, being with them, speaking nicely with them, doing all that what they want, dancing with them, water sports, everything is been done by Krishna for them. But then Krishna is not happy actually by giving them Bahirhita. Krishna actually wants to give them Antarhita. And just one small event happening, the Gopikas become pride, and Krishna is Antarhita. Antarhita has two meanings. One is disappearing, is also called as Antarhita, and giving an internal benefit. Antar is internal, Hita is benefit. Doing good internally is what Krishna actually desired in this. Now, what happened is, we all know. So when the Gopika, they had their mindset which was not aligned with the mindset of Krishna, Krishna disappeared. Now we see that they go through the entire process. They chant Krishna's name, they do all the pastimes of Krishna, and at the end they cry. And that is where this word is used, Anuvrata. When they are in line with how Krishna is, at that is the exact moment Krishna appears before them. So this Anuvrata has to be understood very properly. Initially, we see that Gopikas have indignation, um, and due to that, indignation is anger. So due to that anger, the desire to be with Krishna is like getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Now Krishna understands. Now the Gopikas have that anger, and because of that anger, they won't be able to reciprocate properly with Krishna. So when Krishna comes back, he does two things. First is, Krishna's response is he uses attractive words, so that their pain of separation can be relieved. And externally, again, he helps them by touching their bodies, kissing their bodies. So he does both things just so that that anger is completely subsided, and they can again start the Ras Leela, which is desired by Krishna. So we have to understand that once Krishna appears before us, Krishna will do all those things in case if a devotee has any anger against Krishna, that why you did this to me. Just like in case of Draupadi, it did happen. When Krishna appeared before Draupadi, Draupadi shouted at Krishna, why did you come late? How did all this happen to me? And that story we all know is related to this Adhik Mas. Because in her past life, when she was a Brahman Kanya, Durvas Rishi came to her house at the time when her father left this world. She was all alone and she couldn't understand what to do. And that is the time Durvas Rishi says, you please follow this Adhik Mas Vrat, and you will have all the things that you desire. But she is very skeptical because she knows that this is a Malmas, which is a leftover month which nobody accepts. No Devta takes position, and there is no Sankranti in this month, so it is all impure. So he said, what you are saying all this? This is all rubbish. And in a way, she disregards this Adhik Mas and also the great sage Durvasa. So Durvasa says, okay, you disregarded me. That's okay. It's my personal thing. But let me tell you that you shouldn't have disregarded this month because it is direct representation of Lord Krishna. He is the Pratinidhi of Lord Krishna. So you will have to suffer for disrespecting Lord Krishna himself. And that is why in the Asatsava, she had to go through that event where she was being disrespected before the entire Sabha. So the reason that is given is because she disrespected the Adhikamas, which is direct representation or manifestation of Lord Krishna. That is, but it's okay that it happened. Krishna himself begs forgiveness to Draupadi that sorry I came late. But as soon as you raised your hand and you gave up all the support system that you had created for yourself, I immediately came there as a Vastra Rupa. He came there in the form of the sari. And once he came in the form of sari, The pallu that she had, pallu that ladies have in their saris, it even didn't slip an inch after Krishna came there in the form of sari. So, yes, there may be some anger, there may be some pain regarding Krishna, but Krishna will make sure that all that pain and all that anger that we have is gone. He has his own ways to deal with each individual devotee, so it cannot be generalized. But for here, Gopikas, he used attractive words and touching the body of the gopis. That pacified their anger completely, and that is where again the Ras Leela started. So this Anuvrata, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Prabhupada both mentioned this. His mind, when it became, when it came in harmony with the Gopika's mind, when both of their minds were in harmony with each other, the rasa dance started. The when Krishna appeared and the rasa dance started. So this word Anuvrata has to be taken very, very carefully because that is the only way and means by which Krishna will appear before us. Till the time our minds and Krishna's mind are in harmony, Krishna will not appear before us. That's the fact. We have to understand. When the Gopika's mind became aligned with the mind of Krishna, that is the time Krishna came back and the Rasa dance started. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining this entire events. He is saying what are the ingredients of rasa, this rasa leela. So the first ingredient is the excellent supreme male, that is Lord Govinda himself. And what's so outstanding? Two things are outstanding in Govinda, Krishna. One is his power, supreme power. Nobody is powerful than him. And the supreme sweetness that he carries, nobody is as supremely sweet as he is. So when the male is the supreme or when the male is excellent, the participants also have to be that excellent. And that is why the word that is used for the gopikas is Tri Ratnae, multiple. So multiple females there. But what are they compared to Ratna? They are the jewel among the women in the species of humans. There is nobody superior to the person and nobody superior to the women who are there participating. Now, what speciality of these women here? The speciality is that they are influenced by the intense prema for Krishna. They have intense love for Krishna. Now, what does love mean here? That is also explained. What does love mean? Love means that totally, completely being dependent on Krishna. First thing, they are completely dependent on Krishna. That Krishna, without you, we won't be able to function. Second thing, when the rasa dance start, they are very, very careful that Krishna shouldn't leave them. So on two sides, both the gopis are holding one hand of Krishna so that he doesn't leave them. That's the care and caution they are taking. See, now they have understood that Krishna has come back. Now there is Anuvrata, both their minds are matching. But still they are so very careful that we shouldn't miss Krishna from our side. Now, please, this introduction, please take a note of this because the entire discussion will be based on what these points we are mentioning here. So I'll just repeat the ingredients of ras is the best of the male, Govinda, best of the female, the gopis, influenced by intense prem. Intense prem is defined by they are solely dependent on him, completely dependent on him. They say that without you, Krishna, we are nothing. And second thing, even when Krishna is there, they are very, very careful that Krishna shouldn't leave them again. Very careful and cautious. Okay, so let's start discussion based on this point. So we have to now understand that this section. Now let's come back to the topic again. Now this section from 13 to 28, where the qualities of Amrish Maharaj are described. So 13 shloka we see Nabhag's son is the most exalted Mahabhagavat Amrish Maharaj, Kriti, who is very celebrated. And the story of this Mahabhagavat Amrish Maharaj is explained. Now what happened to his story? What's special about Amrish Maharaj? Brahma Shapa Api. He was cursed by a Brahmana. But Kwachit, at any given point of time, that curse didn't affect him. Na asprishat, that curse didn't touch him. Pratihata, rather the curse failed. 13th shloka describes. Now, when this is described by Shukdev Goswami, 14th shloka, Parikshit Maharaj is absolutely stunned and amazed. He says, Shrotum Ichchami. I wish to hear this entire pastime about Amrish Maharaj in great detail. Now, why do you want to hear? Because you have only 2 days to hear. He's saying, Brahmadanda Duratya. That the curse of a Brahmana is Duratya, is unconquerable. He himself was cursed by a Brahmana. And he wanted to see how did Amrish Maharaj, who also was cursed by a Brahmana, that Brahma Shap Asprishat didn't touch him. No, Prabhu couldn't touch him, couldn't act on him. Yatra anum Amrish Maharaj. And in the entire condition, in the entire situation, Dhimata, he was greatly sober. Amrish Maharaj. An exact contrary, when a situation arose in the life of Parikshit Maharaj, at that certain point, only for a certain period, he lost his soberness. He became angry. But here, Amrish Maharaj was sober at all given point of time. So he is trying to compare and understand what went wrong from my side and how I can correct myself. So each event in Srimad Bhagavatam should help us understand what's going wrong with me, what the correction I should be doing. When we hear each pastime is for me, so that I can correct myself. I also told this last time. The US Air Force has a strike rate of 100%. Whenever they hit any place with their missiles, that place must be destroyed. That's what accuracy they carry. Now there is a research done on the Air Force of US. So whenever a pilot flies and comes back to the station, he is directly taken from the flying ground to the training room. In between, he doesn't eat anything, drink anything, speaks to nobody. And when he enters the training room tells that during the flight you made A, B, C, D. These mistakes were made. You need to correct A, B, C, and D. These are the points where you can improve A, B, C, D. Each flight he is given this feedback, and every next flight he has to make sure that he is not making the same mistake. Every time we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, is our thought process in this mindset that this is for my improvement? Yesterday I made some mistake, let me correct it today. We hear thinking that the story is so repetitive, so boring. What's the point in hearing? No, every time I hear, I have made a mistake day before, or sometime a month ago, or a day ago, or a year ago. I have to correct it. Parikshit Maharaj is entirely in the mood. Only 2 days are left. Please understand. He is absolutely in this mood of correction. He says, no, I want to correct myself, and hence, Shrutum Ichchami, tell me this story. I want to hear it in great detail. So these things have to be. So 14 shloka. He is very amazed and he is wanting to hear this in great detail. Now, materially and spiritually, okay, materially and spiritually, both of them, Parikshit Maharaj and Amrish Maharaj, are on same level. But he just wants to understand what went wrong from my side. How did I react so badly when things were in the case of Shringi? Okay. Now Amrish Maharaj, certain words are used for him. Now let's understand this. Amrish Maharaj, first of all, is called as Mahabhag. He's a great Mahabhagvat. Now he has all those things Ati Durlabha, which are very, very rarely achieved by anybody in this entire creation. What are those things? Sapta Deepa Vatim Mahim. Along with earth, all the Saptadvipas belong to him. He was the only one king there. Avyayi Shriya Labdha. He received such a rare opulence which till date very few people have achieved. Vibhavam Atulam. He had opulence which couldn't match with anybody. He had such rare opulence. Okay. Now he is such a famous person, everything, ever he has. Now the question comes, how was Maharaj Ambrish seeing this opulence that he had? What was the outlook he had for his opulence? Now, here the word uses tat. Tat means the material opulence that the king has. Whatever he has received, he is thinking it is swapna samstutim, as if he has received something in his dream. Means he says it has no real value. Please understand, this word is very important. Swapna samstutim. Just like things which come in our dreams, do we take them so seriously? No, we don't. Same thing, the entire opulence that Amrish Maharaj is he's saying, it's like a dream. It doesn't have any great importance. So the point here that Prabhupada brings out is Amrish Maharaj knew very well that this material wealth means Vaibhava Nirvanam. The word that is used is Nirvanam, means it will be annihilated at some given point of time. It will be destroyed at some given point of time. When we know very well that something will end up somewhere, why should I invest my thinking, feeling, willing? This is called as Mahatva Buddhi. Mahat Buddhi. Mahat Buddhi means I give so much importance to something that a certain change in that thing disturbs me so badly. Take the relationships of this world, take the wealth of this world, take the post position of this world. Everything is certainly going to end somewhere. How much importance have I given to what things, Mahat Buddhi? The more importance you give to the worldly things, the small change in them will disturb you to a great extent. And why this is happening? Just like Amrish Maharaj was constantly in touch with the reality of this world, that is the only one thing that will help us. Please understand. That is the only one thing that will help us. Constantly keeping ourselves in touch with the reality of this world, that everything here is temporary. Let me do my part and get out of this material world. That is what he was doing each moment. And that is how he kept himself so focused. He was focused on the reality of this world. Tat vishati yat puman. And those who don't keep focus, they enter vishati, they fall tama in the deepest ignorance region. Why? Because they are not ready to accept the real nature of this material world. Please understand this thing. And that's the greatness of Srila Prabhupada's purport. Most of the devotees think that they are repetitive. Yeah, they are repetitive. Nobody is denying the fact that they are repetitive. I am this body, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. Everything will be taken away. Don't invest in the temporary things. Invest in the permanent thing. We know they are repetitive. But the point is, we are so brainwashed by Maya. We are so brainwashed by Maya that Maya doesn't allow us to understand Vaibhava Nirvanam, that the material opulence will be annihilated at some given point of time. And that is why Prabhupada has to hit, just like Maya has hit us millions of times in millions of life per day. It has gone so deep that the acharyas have to hit this basic point that, sir, I am not this body. Everything is temporary here. Please focus on the permanent. He has to do it a n number of times. He didn't do it purposefully. He did it so that we can understand the point. It's repetitive for me, it's repetitive for us, because we are so thoroughly brainwashed by Maya, so thoroughly brainwashed by Maya. Take this material world seriously. Take this material world seriously. For me to get out of that zone, acharyas have to repeat one thing million times. And that is where after 30, 40 years, then when the reality dawns upon me, then I understand, oh, the acharyas were so merciful that they wrote it n times, n number of times, and now I am able to relate with it. So material, Prabhupada writes this point, material opulence creates the topmost illusion in this material world. What does it create? I don't need anyone, or I don't need anything. I am independent. And the Gopi event that we took, the Anuvrata, that will never ever happen between you and Krishna. That will never happen, because we won't be able to appreciate. That is why Kunti Maharani is saying, don't give me all those four things: wealth, Shri, name, fame, good birth. She says, I don't want all this. because I won't be able to appreciate. We see Krishna as a competitor when we have all this. So, attachment to power and wealth will make us fall in ignorance. That's the truth. And the history has repeated itself till date. It will repeat again in the future. So, attachment makes the person, man or woman, doesn't matter. It keeps him working day and night, day and night, day and night. There was one beautiful article that came, uh, and I supposed to read that article. There were some top Indian artists, around 4 or 5 artists they had mentioned, and they had written that why all of a sudden this great artist whom this Indian people adored so much, they were at the peak of their career. Success was like a something which they could have every day, every moment. Millions and millions of followers, Instagram, social media, every show was just like the best show, filled stadiums and auditoriums and everything was filled. The article ended very nicely, and I could understand this point because these people, the successful people, they realized that there is a serious pressure of performance. The followers expected that each time, sir, you stand on the stage, you have to act best, you have to do best, you have to sing best. It creates such a toxic pressure. To have continuous best performance is a myth. Please understand this. You cannot at any given point of time keep performing at its best. We are not God, we are not Krishna. We will do the best, but that best may be appreciated or may not be appreciated all the time. They understood I can't live in such toxic pressure all the time. No. I still remember my old days when I joined the ashram and I started speaking and giving katha. I have gone through this. I could really appreciate this article. There was such a toxic pressure, such a toxic pressure. Each class should be good. Each PPT should be best. People should appreciate me. People should say, what a class, what a this, what a that. It was such a toxic pressure. I still remember one time, His Grace Baldev Prabhu came to Nasik. And we every year call him for Balram Jayanti, since his name is Baldev. So we call him for Balram Purnima festival. And one time he gave a class. It was so simple, so simple. I mean, very, very simple. Now you understand what I mean to say. It was so simple. And after the class, we went to meet him. We go every time when he comes here. We sat with him. We took prasad with him. And he usually completes, he just gives 1 hour class, not more than that. So at 9, he ended the class. Then Arti and Kirtan took place, and we were with him honoring prasad. So I asked him, Prabhuji, very simple class. You could have taken some nice points also. Now, he has been in ashram for 30 years now, or maybe more. I know him from 30 years. He said, see, every time when I give a good class, next time when people call me, they say, "Yaar, Prabhu, last time जैसा class नहीं दिया आपने. You didn't give a class like last time. And your class should be like what? It should have jokes, it should have points, it should have stories, it should have masala." He said it creates a toxic pressure for me also, because audience keep an expectation that Prabhu has come, such senior brahmachari. You should give nice class. You should inspire us. When we see a person in these terms, you will never enter the Krishna Katha. This is my guarantee. You will never enter the Krishna Katha domain. Because more importance is given to the person, not to Krishna, about whom he is speaking. So for the speaker also, it creates a toxic pressure, and for the hearer, it becomes discouraged because "यार, ये तो कथा में तो मजा ही नहीं है. I didn't feel so nice in this katha," because you didn't come for Krishna. You came to hear something which you will feel excited. Krishna Bhakti is not about excitement. It is not about excitement. So please understand, whoever you may be a dresser, you may be a kathakar, you may be a singer, you may be a preacher, you may be a book distributor. Stop taking this toxic pressure. Stop. Stop, it's not needed. I see so many Grahastha devotees taking pressure as a parent. Parenting is something that you should enjoy. It's not something that you should have pressure about. Just like Katha, I was taught, I had to be taught that Katha is something you should relish. Your relishment is what the audience will relish. My Guru Maharaj, every year in Vrindavan or wherever he goes, he gives the same Katha from last. I'm hearing his Katha from 2006. Now it's 20 years I'm hearing. I hear the same Katha. But it doesn't make him any difference. He says the same Katha n number of times, but has the same enthusiasm because he is in the Katha. And he being in the Katha, that makes us feel that this Katha is going live. Because he's not attached to showing the world that he's such a good Kathakar. He's such a good speaker and he has 10 different points from 10 different books. No, he's just giving a vanilla flavor katha, but he himself is relishing the katha so much that the audience automatically relishes katha because he understands me pleasing the audience is not important. Me pleasing Radha and Krishna is important because Radha and Krishna is sitting in everybody's heart. If I am able to appreciate the katha, they'll automatically be able to appreciate the katha. Because the Mahatva Buddhi is where in Krishna is not in the audience. Because my payment won't come from the audience, my payment will come from the Supreme Lord. Just like there was once a person, a salesman, selling clothes in a cloth store. And one lady came and she said, show this, show that, 10 things, 20 things. She saw she didn't take anything. He became so morose. She didn't take anything. He goes back to his house and the whole day is shouting. At the end of the day, his wife asks, why are you so angry? He says, one lady came, I showed the entire shop, she didn't take anything. That wife, such brilliant answer she gives. She is saying him, who pays you? That customer pays you or the owner pays you? He says, the owner. If you show 20 things or 5 things or one thing, ultimately the payment is coming from whom? The owner. But the prominence, just like that salesman is not given to the owner, it is given to the customer. Most of the time, kathas, what happens? The same thing. Neither the kathakar nor the audience. When you hear sincerely, the payment will come from whom? Krishna. When I speak nicely, when I speak sincerely, the payment of nourishment, the payment of satisfaction will come from whom? It will come from Krishna. So that article mentioned this thing, they understood that I can't satisfy the audience at all given point of time. That toxic pressure, they left the world immediately after understanding. So the earlier we understand that I need not satisfy everyone, the happier we will be because conditioned soul that includes your family member, that includes your parent, that includes your social circuit, that includes your kids. Conditioned soul means two things: dissatisfaction and fear. It's an empty ocean, you can never fill it. But if somebody is already full and if you pour something, it will immediately start overflowing. If there is a well which is already filled to its brim, if you add one bucket of water, the water will come out. So if you want to add somewhere, add in a person who is already full, and that is Krishna. He is Atma Ram. When you do for Atma Ram, you also become like Atma Ram because that is what is coming out of the well. So we have to understand where we are investing, where is that Mahatva Buddhi, where is that importance, what is the thing that I am considering important in life. So Krishna is Atmaram. He is simply satisfied by the sincere service, the selfless love that we give him. Selfless love means Krishna, accept me as I am, and I'm ready to serve you as you want, without any expectation. That is why we started with the example of the gopis. They came without any expectation. But as soon as pride entered their heart, Krishna left. So the whole gamut of spiritual practices is like a journey that we have to take from false ego to true ego. False ego means I am great. True ego means what? Krishna is great and I need Krishna. False ego, I don't need anybody. I am self-sufficient. But true ego says, I need Krishna. For me, Krishna is very important. My Mahat Buddhi has shifted from the people of this material world to Krishna. Now, second point. What is the result of this Mahatva Buddhi in when I have that Krishna is more important? Now let's take this example. 17th shloka. Vasudeve Bhagavati Tad Bhakteshu Sadhushu Prapto Bhavam Param Vishwam Yenedam Lostravat Smrutam. Ambrish Maharaj, such a great saintly devotee. Prapto Bhava Param, when he had that love for Krishna, affection for Krishna, devotion for Krishna. Bhavam Param, Vishwam Lostravat Smritam, he felt this world so petty. Why the things of this world seem so important to me and Krishna doesn't seem so important? Because I don't have love for Krishna. I don't have deep affection for Krishna. I don't understand the value and importance of Krishna in my life. He had such deep love for Krishna that material opulence seemed like a stone. That is the point we have to understand. Now let's take another point which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur raises in seventh canto. Very beautiful point. Today in our temple class we read this point. Now somebody may say this material world is also a form of Krishna. So why should one reject this? Okay, you are saying material is this, material is that. And who is asking this question? This question is asked by Lord Narasimhadev to Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, in his prayers, this is the section where his prayers are going on. Around 34, 35 shloka. I exactly don't remember the shloka number. So, not 31st, 21st shloka, 7, 9, 21. Lord Narasimhadev is asking, is saying to Prahlad Maharaj that I am the form of everything. Isn't this true? Prahlad says, yes. So if everything is material is form of me, so isn't this samsara also me? Prahlad Maharaj says, yes. Then why do you want liberation from my form, which is here in the form of the samsara? Prahlad Maharaj answers are very clear. This is the power of clarity. Prahlad Maharaj answers. Now this is a dialogue that is happening between Prahlad Maharaj and Narasimhadev. Prahlad Maharaj says, yes, dear Lord, what you say is correct. You created this material world, but you created this material world through the agency of Maya. Okay. Now, what does this Maya do? She puts a subtle covering. Now, what does the subtle covering of ego do? It will change the thought process of the jiva. The Mahatva Buddhi will change from you to material activities. We will not find you as important in this life. The focus will absolutely shift. And he's saying, Bali Yasa, this thought process to be shifted is highly difficult to overcome. Bali Yasa, it is very powerfully imbibed. That is why we took the point of Srila Prabhupada's purport. Srila Prabhupada in his purport is repeating. Why? Because Maya is Bali Yasi, imbibed so deeply, embossed so deeply. He is saying this material Prakriti Chando Mayana. Now, Chanda has two meanings. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives. Chanda means shloka. And Chanda also means material desires. So material Prakriti through the false ego, what does she do? She creates newer and newer and newer desires in the mind of the jiva, and these desires are never fulfilled, and this is what is called as avidya, where he thinks that I can fulfill all my desires. And this avidya he calls is ajaya. It is unconquerable. Tvat anya, apart from your mercy, nobody can conquer this. And that is why he says that, my dear Lord, please remove this covering. Let me see you and get me back to you. This is the power of your Maya energy. So this Maya is your energy. So this samsara, which is made up of Maya, is also you, but it is different from your original Swarupa Shakti. And only the original Swarup Shakti can satisfy the Jiva completely. Nobody else in this creation has the power to satisfy the Jiva completely. Now, let's come to one last point and then we end the session. Now, the point is, Prahlad Maharaj is saying that please free me and get me back to you. The message, hidden message is, I need you. I won't be able to do this without you. Again, what is happening? Just like Krishna is saying, come back to me, come back to me. Why? Because I can't do without you. Anuvrata, when their moods match, Krishna appears and we get out of this. So please understand, when we sing this Dainya Bhajan, I always used to think, why should I cry? Can't Krishna take me happily out of this material world? His Divine Grace Gaur Govinda Maharaj used to say, crying school, why cry? I am going to the place where every step is a dance. I am so happy that I don't walk, I dance. Why cry? Crying, Krishna is not a sadist to see us happy crying. That crying means, Krishna, I need you. I am dependent on you. He just wants to check how much are you dependent. Krishna, when did he appear before the gopis when they started crying? Crying means what? I am helpless without you. Come back. Crying is indicative of that mood that Krishna, I am helpless without you. Just like a lover is incomplete without his beloved, same thought process has to be applied here. I have to tell Krishna I am incomplete without you. Just like Krishna is feeling incomplete without me. That is why he's doing all this. Get back, come back, come back. Why all this Adhik Mas and all this stuff? Just so that somehow we can connect with Krishna. Do something small and Krishna is just grasping that opportunity. Okay, how can I connect him back to me? That anuvrata, please understand that point. Anuvrata, we have to have our minds matching with that of Krishna. That is Aikya. Not the Aikya of merging in the Brahman Jyoti. For the devotee, there is also Aikya. Desires match. Just like in India, we had this Enron project. It was a power project, hydroelectric power project. So they set up this power project near a sea in Konkan, Maharashtra. But it became a serious flop because the reason that was given, now they used this water, and this water, when it passed, it became hot, and this hot water was released in the sea. Okay, when this hot water was released in the sea, the regions near the seashores, the people used to say that it started flooding there. So all this people from the technical team were called, and they came to a conclusion that when you throw the hot water which has come through the turbines in the sea, it's a huge quantity because the turbines, they have to flow them, and when the water, they were passed it through some mechanism, the water became hot and then it was released in the sea. Sea has a nature. Till the time the water which is coming from the external sources doesn't have the same temperature of the sea water will continuously keep throwing this water outside. It will not take it in. Same thing is with Krishna. Krishna will only and only accept us when our mood matches with his mood and behavior. And that's the exact point that is taken in the 18th, 19th, and the 20th shloka that we are discussing today. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, what is this 18, 19, 28 shloka? It is about sadhana. What kind of sadhana I should perform so that there is anuvrata, that I match my mood with that of Krishna. That's all. Sadhana means what? Why so much has to be done? Because that is where I show Krishna that you are the prominent person in my life. Your pleasure matters more for me, to develop love for Krishna, and so that I can get purified of my material desires. Now, let's take one point from Srila Prabhupada's purport. In Srila Prabhupada's purport, we see Prabhupada is quoting this 7.1. Prabhupada is so brilliant, so brilliant. Why Prabhupada quoted 7.1 in this 3 shloka? For 3 shloka, Prabhupada is just giving one reference, 7.1. Now, if you read 7.1, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he's writing this, that what is the 7th chapter all about? 7th chapter is all about how Krishna is the most worshipable and about Krishna's opulence. Okay? 3 things are mentioned in chapter number 3. Point 1, aparaprakriti. Aparaprakriti means the material creation. That is the pradhan, the 24 elements. Second thing is this aparaprakriti, this inferior energy of Krishna is tried to being enjoyed by the Paraprakriti, that is the Jivatma who is interacting in this material world. And the third thing, let's come back to the same point where we started. Third point, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, is the Swarupa Shakti. And what is this Swarupa Shakti? Prahlad Maharaj event, we spoke about Swarupa Shakti. He says this material world doesn't come under the purview of the Swarup Shakti. I want that Swarup Shakti. And how will that Swarup Shakti manifest? Swarup Shakti is translated by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur as bhajan, the means by which we can reach Krishna. That is the brilliance of Srila Prabhupada. What is 7.1? Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya. Don't take shelter anywhere. Keep your mind engaged in me. Asamshayam Samagram Mam. Yata Jnashyasi. I will give you entire gamut of knowledge about me. What is that knowledge? Jnanam Teham Savijnana. I will give you Jnan and Vigyan. What is Gyan? Gyan is Aishwarya Pradhan knowledge about Krishna. That is the creation of this material. That is Aishwarya Pradhan. Vigyan is the Madhurya Pradhan Gyan. How to love Krishna. Krishna says, Yatha Jnasesi Tachrunu. I will give you that knowledge in complete. You will not need to go anywhere in this creation. I can give you that entire knowledge completely. But for that, we need Guru who can give us the proper process, and the process which we practice, then the unseen becomes seen, the unknown becomes known. And that is why Amrish Maharaj, through his example, is teaching that example of king and servant is given. Amrish Maharaj, the senses are like servant, they follow the king. So Amrish Maharaj has taken so much control of his senses. How? By constantly engaging them and properly training the mind and senses that I am doing this for pleasure of Krishna. And when you do something for pleasure of the person whom you love, you don't expect anything. So most of the time when devotee says, I did so much for Krishna, why is Krishna doing this to me? It becomes karma kandi, it doesn't become bhakti. Because in love, you don't expect your child to do something for you. You just love your child. Do the same for Krishna. Kamam cha dasya. Engage all the senses like servants. Natu kamya kamyaya. Without any desire for return. And doing this 24 hours a day. Now, let's take this one last point. Now, 24 hours a day, Krishna consciousness, doesn't it seem so impractical? Doesn't it seem so extremist? Let me give you just 3 examples to clear this point. Let's take 3 examples from Srimad Bhagavatam. First is Bharat Maharaj, who later on became Jada Bharat, and Kunti Maharani and Mata Devuti. We'll take just 3 examples. Bharat Maharaj, when he becomes deer, when he goes through the entire experience of deer, comes back as Jad Bharat. If you read Jad Bharat's story, Jad Bharat Maharaj is so fearful of material association. Now, if you ask Jad Bharat Maharaj, why are you so fearful? It's just the family members. They are just your family men. What answer would Jad Bharat give? He says, sir, I already had experiences where I got stuck, not with family. It was so insignificant. It was a deer I got stuck. So I don't want any relation which will keep me away from Krishna. Again, the same point where we started with the Gopikas example. They are holding Krishna from both sides so that he doesn't go away. He says, I don't want to miss Krishna at any given point. He is a super extremist. He left his house. Mata Kunti, famous shloka. Imam Chindi, Dridam Pandushu Vrishnishu. Cut both sides. Don't keep any connection. I don't want to miss you. I'm fearful. I don't know if I become attached to my child, I mean, my children, my husband, and my mother's side, my father's side. I don't want that attachment. Cut it. Devuti. Read third canto. Beautiful chapters. Beautiful chapters. When Kardamuni is leaving home, Devuti Mata is crying. So, Kardam Rishi is asking, why are you crying? She's saying, I had the best of the association, but I couldn't make the best use. Now, Kardam Rishi is asking, why still material desires left? She says, no, you fulfilled all my material desires. Then what do you want? She says, I am still very fearful. because I got the best material resources from you, but I got so entangled in that I couldn't make spiritual progress. She is already born in Kshatriya family. She already has huge passion. He tried to reduce her passion, but it couldn't get completely reduced. And she's so fearful. Till that point of time, she's so fearful that I couldn't make any progress. So give me a son who can remove two things, my attachment and my fear. So as we grow in our bhakti in number of years, please understand whether this fear is still there or not. If we are still fearful, that means we are still attached to something here. And that fearlessness is given only by Krishna, and fearlessness is byproduct of our faith in Krishna, that Krishna is there to take care of all my needs. Fear means I still want to control. I don't want Krishna to take over my life. That's the reality. As you advance, keep checking what are the things that keep fearing you. Are we fearful like Jad Bharat, which we should be? Or are we fearful like Devuti? That's my material desires are still troubling me, and I'm still attached to so many things, and I don't want Krishna that you take control of my life. So, as we grow in our years in spiritual life, it's better that we become extremists, not a problem. I'm not, balance is good. Initial days, it is good. As we grow in years, we have to become extremist. And Bhagavad is all about extremism. Because to get attached to Krishna, we have to become extremist. That 24-hour formula, maybe today it is not possible to me, but if we follow Prabhupada's books, we will surely be able to do that. And that's just matter of practice. The better we practice under somebody's guidance, 24 hours seva sadhana happily is really, really, really possible. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this beautiful class. Please continue, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was really thought-provoking and very encouraging and inspiring. That where we have to go deeper and what is the core of real pure bhakti. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for speaking all these intrinsic concepts. Amazing class. Thank you, Prabhuji. I request devotees, if you have any questions, you can raise your hands. So, Prabhuji, fear means, what is that fear you are talking, Prabhuji? The fear of
Fear, it can be anything. It can be fear relating to my attachment of body, that what will happen to my body? What if some disease comes? Will I be able to handle my body? So there is attachment to the body, and that attachment will create fear. Or the fear can also be, what will happen to my family? Who will take care of my family? Or will I be able to, will my family say that, okay, you did the best, so don't worry. So these are all fears which we have to understand. And most of the devotees are bothered by this fear. Nobody speaks about it, but over a period of time, we understand that yes, these are the fears that are bothering devotees who are in the mission for last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Because somewhere they feel that things have to happen the way I want. My daughter, my son should be taken care the way I want. But who knows, Krishna has a better plan for handling them and their needs, better than what we could have been providing them. Okay.
yes, Prabhuji, but is the healthy fear is acceptable, like spiritual fear? Will I be able to please the Lord? Will I be able to
Yes.
make
Yes.
His
That is
presence
required. That is why we took the example. Gopikas are holding Krishna, just trying to please him. So you don't leave us. We will serve you through our services here.
okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. There are some comments and questions in the chat. I will read for you. Sunil Prabhu is asking, Prabhuji, you have mentioned we shouldn't look for amazing, like, sorry, excitement in the class, but Prabhu, when his class is repetitive, it seems very boring. So how do we maintain same enthusiasm?
Okay, so this is a very nice question. Yes, the classes are repetitive at times. Maybe the speaker is not that charismatic, but here we have to understand why are we sitting in the class. The main agenda for sitting in the class is first thing is my purification. Okay, because the person whom we have invited will be speaking about Krishna, and Krishna is Shuddham Apapa Viddham. He is completely pure. First thing. So the purpose is my purification. I like it, I don't like it, I sit there. Second thing is when I sit in the class, in spite of the class being boring, in spite of the class being repetitive, Krishna sees that this person is sitting here to please me. Can you imagine how much pleased Krishna is? Krishna understands. Okay, just like we were in Vrindavan 3 4 days ago. So we went to Sankrikor, and we know the famous pastime of Sankrikor, the tax collection pastime. And in the tax collection pastime, initial fight broke between Radha and Krishna. Radha and Krishna, when the fight broke, so two lawyers came from two sides, unappointed lawyers came. So the hero and heroine is shifted. Lalita Devi says to Radharani, you take back seat. And here Madhumangal says to Krishna, take back seat, I'll deal with the case. So both lawyers are fighting. And both lawyers are fighting so badly. And both hero and heroine both are getting bored. Not only them, the entire Sabha who is there is getting bored. Now if Radha and Krishna can get bored by two lawyers fighting, and for whom they are fighting for them. So for a sadhaka to get bored is very natural and normal. But the point is, whom am I sitting there for? When Krishna sees the speaker is so boring and still my devotee is sitting here just to please me, can you imagine the pleasure that you are giving to Krishna? Immense pleasure, immense pleasure. So when a speaker is boring, sit there to tell Krishna, I am here to hear about you, just to please you, I am here. So that's a better way, easiest way to please Krishna. Because Krishna understands. He himself gets bored at times. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this very sensitive and reply. Thank you, Prabhuji. Next question, Utkarsh Parekh Prabhu. I'm fearful that I am a materialistic and some vikars do not change. They keep coming back in some form or other. I try to remain in fact that we are not this body, but in real life situations, we do not remember this. We fail this test. Please help.
Yeah, it's a very common thing. See, what events that you are facing in life will only go when you have superior rasa. The dire emergency need for a sadhaka is rasa. Till the time you get superior rasa to taste, all these things will not go away. Because what you are experiencing and the things that previously we enjoyed, now we understand that they are not good for me. And that is why we want to get rid of them. But that is not sufficient. You saying yourself that I am not this body, I am a soul won't help. Because mind to get diverted from the previous experience will need a superior experience, a better experience than that. And that is why we have Navvidha Bhakti. We have Shravanam, Kirtanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedan. And here everything is given. All these senses, how they are to be engaged. If you, especially to purify the sense of touch, when you embrace a devotee, especially when you touch the feet of a superior, that's the easiest way to purify your touch. Meeting devotees, embracing them, dancing with them. So when mind finds joy in some spiritual things, only and only that identity as a body will get reduced and my original identity as soul will come up. because I have to rise above my body. Just like in this parikrama, we had two people, senior elderly people. One had a skin which was completely white. I mean, it's kind of a melatonin. They have some problem with melatonin secretion in their body, and hence their entire body is plain white. And these people who have this kind of skin, when they roam around in sunlight, their body generates boils. You understand? It's a serious thing. There was one person with this kind of skin tone. So that was the parikrama day, and that parikrama day, he said whether I should go, because even if he stands for half an hour in sunlight, in hot sunlight, his body generates boils. So he was very skeptical. Should I go? Should I not go? But he prayed to Giriraj ji, see, please, whatever will happen, I'm ready. But allow me to do this parikrama walking. He could have done in auto, but he said no, I'll try. You won't imagine, and now Govardhan heat is like the topmost in the entire Mathura district. Okay, we had 46 degrees this time in this week, last week. 46 degrees, like too much of heat, and that too, North India heat means. But he was so surprised. We completed the parikrama around 12 o'clock. Hmm? And till 12 o'clock, nothing, his skin was plain white. Nothing came up on his skin. Nothing. He was literally crying, how could this happen? How could this happen? That induced so much of faith. He said, God exists. He came for first time in Yatra. He never attended any school. He was crying. He said, God exists. God. I said, what happened? He says, see, nothing has come up. Entire day, nothing came up on his body. And the same thing he could have done somewhere at his home place. He says, I am really scared to get out in the heat. So he had that experience which lifted him so much that he says, now I'll start chanting also. So we need uplifting experiences so that the mind can easily release. The saying of I'm not this body, that won't help. We need experiences, enriching experiences. Then see how smooth the journey becomes. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So there is a comment. I would like to read that. Lalita Mataji and Dinabandhu Prabhu is telling, please accept our humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for your association. Our attachment to Srila Prabhupada or to wanting to please him by serving and loving Krishna is greatly enhanced by those we feel are our true spiritual family like yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Their blessings are much needed always, and I just come here to seek their blessings. Otherwise, timetable doesn't permit. Shama Gauri Mataji, she has caught my loophole. She knows Tuesday I'm free. Every Tuesday she keeps messaging, "Are you there? Are you there?" I said, "Yes, I'm there."
Yes.
Just yesterday we came back from Yatra, and today we are here to serve all the devotees. Thank you, Shama Gauri Mataji. Thank you, Lalita Mataji, Dinbandhu, for always seeking your blessings.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful class, and thank you so much for your association. Like
Hare Krishna.
Mataji said, we are attached to your class.
Hare Krishna. I keep repeating Prabhupada's words. I'm a repeater. That's what I identify myself as. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. There is a simple comment by Sunil Prabhu. I do get joy in spiritual activities, but sometimes I feel the joy which I am getting in hearing chanting, that's very, very less compared to material sense gratification.
Yeah, that's the same concept of rasa. The more rasa we get here, automatically that material enjoyment will seem weaker and we can easily leave it. So just keep hearing, and things will fall in place. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you
Prabhu.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
With your request, Mr. Prabhuji. And all Vaishnavas, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki
Jai, Jai,
Ki Jai. Thank you.
Radhe Radhe.
Gauranga, Nityananda.
Hare Krishna.